Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Bits episode. You join me and my good buddy Andreas to talk about one of the coolest freaking vehicles ever, the Tesla Semi. There are other electric trucks on the market, and in Europe, they're actually quite popular. We just had a video on Out of Spec reviews on Scanias and Volvos and other stuff. There's a bunch of Chinese electric trucks, but there's just something cool about when Tesla does a semi because it's going to be all vertically integrated, and it's from, of course, the largest producer of electric vehicles out there. Is that true, or is BYD selling more? Regardless, they're up there.
They're up there, yeah. But I agree. It's just such a cool product. The Tesla Semi. It just looks like the future. And the others, they do a little bit. Mercedes makes cool electric trucks. But
Yeah, that's right. Mercedes, the e-Actros, and some other stuff, they look great. We really should cover them a bit more, and I'd like to do that. So I'm going to go to a couple like heavy duty and medium duty electric truck stuff shows this year to kind of immerse myself in that world a little bit more. But I just saw today because Sawyer tweeted out on X, who's, if you're not familiar with Sawyer Merritt, he's actually a friend of mine, great guy, and an invaluable resource to learning about Tesla. He really covers Tesla specifically. He sprinkles with some other stuff, but he just seems to know about everything first, Andreas, and he gets the stories up. I don't know how he does it, but this dude, I don't think he sleeps.
Yeah. No, he always knows the inside scoops, I feel like.
Yeah, so he said Tesla updated its semi-truck website, revealing the final production trims before customer deliveries start in the coming months. Now, we'll go through all those in a minute, but I just want to talk about the Tesla Semi program up to this point. Up to this point, Tesla Semis have been in, I would say, low volume production for Tesla to do internal validation and testing. I've seen them up and down I-80. Have you ever seen one on the road, Andreas? We were talking about this recently.
Yeah, no, not to this point. Which is, I saw one in when was this? 2018, parked at the Littleton, Colorado Tesla Service Center. There was one parked, but I've never seen it on the road.
Well, it's such a cool product, and I've seen them out on the road doing testing and some other stuff, and I was like, okay, and I've gone for a ride in one at ACT one year. I got to go for a little ride in one. It was really cool. So and those videos are on YouTube already. So I've always been fascinated with this, but up to this point, it was for their own internal fleet, and then they had some customers that were doing pilot exercises, and none of those agreements have ever been publicly shared about if those companies purchase Tesla semis or if Tesla's just building them, letting them use them and borrow them for free, or if they're renting them or if they're leasing them, and what those agreements entail. But I know one thing is for sure, like real customer orders have not been fulfilled. I think it's mostly just like test units, like Pepsi got a handful and a few others had a few out there.
Yeah, Frito-Lay and Pepsi, I think, are the only two big test customers, I would say, trial customers.
Yeah, but I've seen a bunch of other ones too, like little ones that have like,
Small
2,
ones.
3, 4 at a time. And there's probably another 10, 20, or 30 of those. My guess is they probably had about 100 to 200 trucks would be my guess, that were out testing and validating. Now, I met with Dan Priestley, who runs the Tesla Semi program, a couple years ago at ACT Expo when I got to go for a ride in one. And he mentioned that like this is kind of the early not prototype, but like early test phase where they're like, we're going to prove our technology out, but we're going to completely revamp the vehicle for what's actually going to be sold to people. So there was sort of like a series A and now a series B, if you will, run of these things. And I'm super excited for the new one because the old one was cool, but it used kind of like a plaid powertrain that like had a clutch disconnect and some other stuff. I'm really thinking they can optimize a lot with this new platform. And if they can get the efficiency to go up even more, then they can put less batteries in it, which is kind of the big expense for something like this, is having such a, big battery in there. Now, one thing we can say for sure is what's on the website is surprisingly not the new Semi. That's like the old one. The new one looks like the new Model Y, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you go back to Sawyer's tweet, though,
yeah, pulling it up now.
It will show the new design.
Okay, hold on. Let me get it over here. Boom. All right, so Sawyer's tweet has the new design on it. Yeah, there
Yep,
we go. This is what the new one should look like.
yeah, like a
We
Model
think
Y, basically.
I think Tesla has confirmed that, but it's weird how they updated this and then they have all the old designs on here. Man,
Yeah.
it looks kind of weird. Like, doesn't that look weird, that one on the end?
Oh yeah. So I guess that's the smaller one, I guess. Yeah. Or is it
Okay.
with sleeper cabin? Maybe is this what the top part is for?
No, this is just for Aero.
It's
I
error, right?
think
Yeah.
they've only built one cab configuration, which is dual door, single seat driver. You get the passenger seat in the back and
Oh,
not
okay.
a sleeper. They're just sort of day cabs.
So
I'm
maybe
sure
the
they
one
will
in the
make a sleeper
yeah.
version. Well, let's go through. We're going to run through this whole site, but the whole site was just updated and none of them have that new front end design. They all have this design.
Yeah, that's kind of
Oh
odd.
man, there's new details. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to. Oh, this is so freaking cool.
Before I move on
Andrea,
though,
go ahead.
which design do you prefer? The old one or the new one?
The old one. Actually,
Me
hold
too.
on 1 second. We're gonna keep it in the podcast because this is bits. It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
yeah.
I've got a thing. Hold on. Let me run it.
He's got a thing. Yeah, just to do like a side by side here.
Okay. I
Nice.
love the Tesla Semi so much that I have this is the first thing you see when you walk into the out of spec office
So
on
cool.
display. Yep. And this is the old design, and I think it looks amazing. I think that's such a cool looking unit right there.
I agree. Yeah, the new one looks very futuristic too, but the old one is just I just like the lights and I don't know, but that looks great too.
Yeah, I mean that looks like more like a normal Model Y. So I guess is this going to be the one, or if they just updated the site, is this going to be the one? I don't think we genuinely know yet, or maybe they're
Hmm,
two different versions.
maybe, but yeah, why would they update the whole site without fresh footage? That's not Tesla like. Tesla usually is known for awesome photos, right, and press photos and their quarterly earnings PDFs, and so yeah, maybe they keep this design around. I won't be surprised, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna just search really quick. If I go to the Tesla media website, Tesla
Mhm.
gallery, and I go to Semi. Here, I can share this over here. Let's see what it looks like if we go to Semi. No, see, all Semi has here's the new
Oh,
one,
yeah.
okay, and the old one.
Okay.
Mostly the old one. Maybe they don't have any new ones like to really take photos of yet.
Maybe.
That's the only thing I can think. Man, this one just looks so freaking cool, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, it's amazing. This shot right here, I love
Hmm.
that. That's so good.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. Whoever took these, just a freaking genius. Oh, that's
Yeah.
such a good shot. So these are all what's on kind of they loaded the new website with. Um, okay, let's go through it, shall we?
Yeah. Let's do it.
So right up front, Tesla always puts their kind of like big boy stats on there. So 1.2 megawatt charge capable. Now that seems good, but like not great. That's peak charging power. We don't know what the curve is going to be. And so this will be with Tesla's version 4 supercharger or really any MCS charger. They're using MCS, the current version of it. Well, it's 3.2. We'll talk about that later. But that's like the big triangular thing. And we're actually in the process of installing one at the out of spec track. So if there's any trucking companies out there that need to do I-95 mileage accumulation and have interest in high power charging next to I-95, hit me up because we're building the perfect spot to stress test medium and heavy duty electric vehicles here. Obviously, we won't film your prototypes, maybe. Then that seems good. 1.2 megawatt charging. It means that if it can run full power, my guess is this thing's going to have 800 kilowatt hours. I don't know, just a guess.
You can do the math actually on that one. It
Yeah, let's
says
do
the
it.
big one, 500 miles
Mm-hmm.
of range, and it says 1.7
Kilowatt
kilowatt
hour
hour
per
per
mile.
miles. So
Yeah.
that's easy
So
math.
it's
What is that?
850 kilowatt hours
Mhm.
usable.
Okay.
Yep. So that was a good guess on my side. So
Yeah.
Yeah, 850 kilowatt hours, 500 miles. I don't know in what cycle they're doing. The thing is that 500 miles of range estimated, there's no EPA cycle, there's no like rated thing. So that's just Tesla saying, okay, based off of whatever drive loop they come up with, that's the range with the load and the conditions and everything like that, which is fine.
Yeah, but I feel like it has to match that range. I feel like since this is going to like companies, right, that actually have to truck stuff around the country, it can't be like, oh, it's only getting 400 miles real world range. Yeah, that really I think is important to match what Tesla advertises. And
Yeah,
I
they
think
kind
they
of
have,
have to underrate it a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah, exactly. And I think they released a video a few years ago where they actually drive 500 miles over the Donner Pass and everything nonstop. So it's probably gonna match it, but yeah.
Yeah, and I don't remember who told me this. I thought it was Dan Priestley, but he told me that they were downsizing the batteries. And it could have been a
Okay.
news story too. But
Hmm.
for sure it was they put in big batteries and then they tried to take some out, I think.
Hmm.
Once you reduce the weight of the tractor, then the load on the back can be heavier. I think you can go up
Exactly.
to 82,000 pounds or 84. I think it's 82,000 pounds if it's a battery electric.
Yeah, 82,000, 2,000 more than a gas powered truck. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we'll go into view specs a little bit, but Tesla says it's a beast. It's more powerful, more efficient, and fully electric. Semi is the future of electric trucking. And there it is doing truck stuff. Oh, it's so freaking
Nice.
cool. I got to get one of these. I got to go get a
Yeah.
CDL. We imagine an out of spec motoring road trip in this.
God, dude, coffee run.
You and I would tear it up. It would be so
Yeah.
much fun.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got here. So, it's cheaper per mile than refueling with diesel. Battery electric vehicle maintenance costs are significantly lower. We know all of this. With remote diagnostics, OTA, and fewer moving parts, operators will spend less time at service centers and more time on the road. Now, this is a really cool view of the road out the front. This is nothing new for Semi, but you've got your two screens right there with digital mirror. You can see you have your SOC. It's all literally identical to Tesla. And then you get your trailer stuff. So you can see your primary and secondary pressures. You can see your trailer air supply and your parking brake. I love that the parking brake is on when it's going down the road in park, which
Yeah.
is really funny.
But I
And
believe the center seat is new, right? Like no semi truck has a middle seat, right? Like
yeah,
a
that's
central seat.
correct. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
this is the only Windrose. Remember them? They have like the semi truck that looks like the Tesla Semi.
Oh yeah.
I can't
Okay. No.
remember if there's a central seating position or not, but
Okay.
they're actually making quite a few trucks out there.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it comes with active safety features with advanced motor and brake controls to deliver traction and stability in all conditions. A central seating position gives the driver better visibility, and an all electric architecture can help reduce both rollover risk and cabin intrusion in case of an accident. So, the saying for a lot of semi trucks out there are um, Tupperware torpedoes, which they're basically just these plastic things on chassis going down the road.
Yep.
This is like actually like has a safety cage and like has some safety in it, which is really
Okay.
important.
Awesome.
This is the charging situation. You have the version 4 Tesla supercharger dispenser that can charge 1.5, 1.4 megawatts per cabinet. So I think it's still a little bit more than what one semi can take. So my guess is you'll probably have two dispensers for one version 4 supercharger, and
Yep.
they'll split between two trucks. That'll probably be a common installation. So they claim 1.7 kilowatt hour per mile of energy consumption. Semi can travel up to 500 miles on a single charge, recover 60% of range in 30 minutes using Tesla semi chargers. So you'll get pretty poor charging curve.
Yeah.
That's 0 to 60 or maybe 10 to 60 in it's probably 10 to 70 would be my guess in 30 minutes, which not the end of the world, but not pushing
Yeah.
the boundaries in terms of crazy fast C rate or anything, but
So
you're
that
still
would be
onboarding a ton.
510 kilowatt hours in 30 minutes. That's 60%.
So that's averaging a megawatt.
Exactly. Yeah, megawatt.
Yeah, roughly. So, well, I mean, that's kind of close to its maximum, but not probably with losses right up there. It just needs faster charging, as does everything. This should be like a quick, filling up a diesel truck takes a long time. Let's be clear. And also let's be clear. There's time that truckers can stay on the road versus when they have to take off. And in our market, there's a lot of mandatory rest time. And this is the charging is going to be way faster than the mandatory rest time requires. So I think you're going to see a lot of 100 to 200 kilowatt low power chargers at truck stops in the future. I don't think everything is going to be mega crazy fast charging. This is actually a use case where the 1.2 megawatt charging is perfectly suited for the application and maybe even a bit quick in this case. Let's see what else we got going on here. There's independent motors. They provide instant torque and unmatched power at any speed. What is this video? Ooh, it's got some noise. This is the whole presentation. Okay, so that's the initial one. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. Dude, there's 2 versions.
Yep.
Okay, now this I feel like would be an image they would update to the new one if they were going to do the new design.
So maybe... Wait, is the photo different on the long range?
No, I checked. Same.
You checked. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's strange. Maybe they're still experimenting with the design.
Okay, so let's take a look at the battery capacity on this. So what's 325 times 1.7? Let me do 325 times 1.7. So this has 550 kilowatt hours of battery storage, which is kind of perfect for, and honestly pretty big. There's a lot of electric trucks that only have like 250 kilowatt hours. Like that's a common number, especially in Europe, like for short haul stuff where you're just going depot to depot and you recharge. That's a big battery, 550 kilowatt hours for the standard range truck. I think that's going to be hugely popular. You can see that 82,000 pounds gross combination weight. So we already discussed that in this episode. And your charging curve is 60% in 30 minutes. So you're at cell limits. If we weren't at cell limits, you would be able to recover more than 60% in 30 minutes on the standard range versus the long range version.
Yeah.
So that's the internal charging curve of the cell profile you're right up against. 3 independent motors on rear axles. Now that is actually unchanged. So that means that they're using that sort of plaid powertrain, probably with a different gear reduction set, because there's an individual motor for each wheel or each set of wheels on the back. And then you have your sort of cruiser motor, which is on the, just a center mounted open differential motor for the other one. So that makes sense. You've got your big pusher to get you off the ground, get you moving, and then you'll have your highway cruising motor that's going to be much more efficient. And I think having redundant motors is really smart for something like this, because if you have a motor go down, you can at least limp to a situation to get you where you need to go. Now, longevity is going to be really important for a vehicle like this. So that's a part of the reason they did such a huge testing program over the last few years.
It's crazy, right? This thing that was announced in 2019, right? Yeah, 2019, November. So a long time ago. No, wait, Cybertruck is 2017, right? Yeah, 2017.
Holy smokes. Almost 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, 2017. Because I saw it later 2017. So wow.
Man, that
long time.
took a while.
9 years almost.
Yeah. 800 kilowatts makes it the most powerful Tesla product on sale. It's 1,070 something horsepower.
Nice.
That's pretty good. So love to see that. I guess until the Roadster comes out eventually, maybe. And the curb weight is less than 20,000 pounds, which means you can still put over 62,000 pounds of trailer and cargo behind this thing, which is awesome. So the standard range is going to be your heavy hauler. That's where you can put the heaviest stuff in the trailer. Let's look at the long range really quick. That is 23,000 pounds. So you'll be able to put 59,000 pounds on the back of that, if I did my math right.
Yep.
Charge type MCS 3.2. That's the standard triangle plug. We're all used to seeing that. Nothing fancy. Every major, medium, and heavy duty truck pretty much in Europe and US are aligned on that same standard, which is really cool. And
Okay.
then there's a electric PTO, which is kind of interesting. You can use this to power like a diesel reefer or something like that. I guess it would no longer be diesel; it'd be like a refrigerated unit or a hydraulic situation for a trailer. There's many other reasons why you might want to have trailers designed specifically for this hookup. What we don't know is what voltage, what amperage. Is the PTO like a tractor PTO where like it spins, or is it genuinely like an electrical connection? That we're not 100% sure on. At least I don't think. If you know, leave it down below in the comments. But
Could
other
this be
than
used
that,
for like, sorry, this PTO, could this be used for like a refrigerated truck, like a
mhm,
trailer or something? Okay.
exactly. If they
Yeah.
have an electric one they can plug into.
Yeah.
So
Very
it
cool.
says specs are dependent upon vehicle configuration. Then you have contact us. This is how you get in contact with everything, and then you're good to go. So normally under the specifications, you would see like where you need to. Oh, this is just premium connectivity. It's the same as the cars, isn't it?
I
Yeah,
guess so.
it looks like it. Normally you would see like how they did their range calculations. So like sometimes
Mhm.
they'll say you can add 160 miles of range and 15 minutes of charging. Then they'll tell you that's based off of like 60 or 65-mile-an-hour constant speed cruising from fleet data. I don't see any like asterisks on saying, okay, where are you getting your 1.7 kilowatt hour per mile from? That's with
Yeah.
what load, in what condition. How is it that the standard range and the long range get the same efficiency if you're significantly thousands of pounds lighter on the standard range? Unless you're
Yeah.
just saying no matter what, when you load the combined weight to 82,000 pounds, then of
I
course you would
think
get the same efficiency.
I think that's what it means. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so this
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
I would view this at semi specs at 82,000 pounds GC VWR, you're getting 1.7 kilowatt hour per mile. That's how I would read that. Now, a lot of people will be like, a Rivian gets 2 miles per kilowatt hour, or 1.9. This is so efficient. But I've seen this so many times, Andreas, online. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
reversed. It's kilowatt hour per mile, not mile per kilowatt hour.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Yeah.
so inefficient.
Very inefficient. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I wonder how
So,
far it would go without the trailer.
well, we'll find out one day for sure.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We're going to do that. We're going to do all the tests on this.
That's
And
gonna
and I
be the
think
longest range.
I'm going to try to lease one. So if a leasing company, cuz I don't think it makes sense for us to buy it. I think what we should do is we should either work with Tesla and say, "Hey, if I get my CDL, will you guys let us borrow one?" We have a great relationship with Tesla. They let us borrow all their cars anyway. Perhaps that's a possibility where we can have one for 6 months, do a tour across the country with it with a trailer like that and bring our cars everywhere. That'd be so
Oh my
cool.
God.
Be
Yeah.
amazing. Uh, or maybe there's potentially like a fleet company like a Penske or something like that that's going to order a few and would let us do like a year or two long lease on something like this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, I think we've got to get one no matter what. So I don't know how that all works, but I'm willing to go get my CDL. Or at least in North Carolina, they have a heavyweight non-commercial driver's license. So I think if I'm not towing for profit, in the sense where if I'm towing my own vehicles for my own use, I wonder if that covers semis. I know it covers like an F450 with a big hauler on the back.
Okay. That would be cool.
So comment below what we should do. We definitely got to get one. If I need to go through all the certifications, I'm going to get my CDL because we're going to, Andreas, you and we're
Oh
going
my God.
across the country in this thing.
The possibilities are endless. What we could do with this thing. Road trips, rain tests, take it around the track,
We're going to need
FSD tests,
multiple drivers for the range test because if I have a CDL, then I have hourly limits, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
I'll volunteer.
yeah, so you also have to get a CDL. Then we
Oh.
need probably like other truckers to come in and help
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
because it's got to be a
Danny.
nonstop 70-mile-per-hour test.
Yeah. We can ask Danny. I'm sure he would
I
join.
guess the other thing we could do is we could bring it to Hyundai Proving Grounds and ask Matt Sear, who runs it, say, "Hey, dude, we need to borrow this thing for a week because it's never going to shut off." and just run it
Yeah.
around their oval.
Oh my god. I'll take a week off.
Now, let's see. Did we miss anything? So I think we got, standard range, long range. It says designed for autonomy, but there's no mention of anything autonomous or autopilot-y or FSD.
Nothing. I'm sure it's, yeah. Not sure if they're actively working on it, but wasn't there some regulations that would have to change for semi trucks to be able to use autonomous features? I think I read something about this a few weeks ago.
I thought there was already an autonomous semi truck somewhere in Arizona running routes.
Oh, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
So we're not, I just think we don't know. So
Yeah.
also comment down below. I think we've learned that the Tesla Semi is what makes us interested in heavy duty trucking.
Oh yeah.
And we've got a whole new world because there's also some cool stuff going on. You know, those guys from Edison Motors where they're making that like diesel electric thing. They're so cool. I love their
Yeah.
YouTube channel and stuff. That's just like some of the coolest stuff ever.
Yeah.
Man, we got to get
Such an
one.
interesting product. It's so interesting, even though it's not a daily driver, right? There's something about it that's because it seems so impossible. Electric trucking, for some reason, it still feels like it violates physics, but it's possible.
Well, we're gonna be covering it. I think we should get one, and I think I should get a CDL anyway because I'd love to compare like the Volvo products, the
Mhm.
Windrose, the XYZ, and start doing electric truck stuff. It just is cool, and you know what? People like it. Like they get good views when we put
Yep.
the Semi on the channel. They're huge.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, people are interested. It's
All
awesome.
right, so that's that. Is it going to look like this, or is it going to look like this?
Not sure.
I think it's going to look like this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think it's this.
Yeah, this design started popping up like a little less than a year ago or so. So it's probably the new design. Yeah.
But this is still the OG.
OG semi.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
you can actually see the motors in this thing.
Oh my god.
How cool is that?
Cool.
Damn. I love trucks.
Hell yeah.
There's definitely, and then because I'm a super nerd, I keep this on my desk too. You can charge it with a mega pack, and it's also pretty late at night, and we're just filming this because we're done with our workday. And so, yeah, you can use this to buffer the supercharger to then charge your truck and run it all from solar. How cool would that be?
Oh my god, so cool. Is this the same scale? The truck and the
No,
your no.
no, it'd be like the world's smallest mega pack and the world's largest semi. Okay, well, I think that's exciting. I think we got some final numbers. I don't really see any major changes or any big bombshells here.
Not really. The price would be interesting to know. But I guess you only get a quote once you actually order one.
Yeah. And I guess I wonder if companies are just buying them straight cash, or I wonder if they're leasing them from Tesla, or if
Yeah.
there's like always weird ways of financing big equipment. So I wonder if there's a different scheme that maybe we're not familiar with where there's like a balloon payment on it or something.
Yeah. They did announce the pricing when they announced it, right? I just asking some AI here.
Tesla Semi
Yeah.
price
Yeah,
108.7. Is that what yours said?
So mine says 180,000 for the big one and 150 for the smaller one. But it was back in 2017. So
Yeah,
nothing's
no,
changed.
you're right. 180,000 for the 500 mile, 150 for the 300 mile, which is like not bad.
No, I feel like gas semi trucks are way more, right? Aren't they like 250 or more?
Just depends on which one you get and with options because there's so many different configurations for them.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, don't know exactly, but yeah, they probably range from 150 to 300.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you see a new Volvo V&L big boy going down the road, that's a nice unit. That's
Oh yeah.
expensive.
Yeah. Very cool.
Cool. Can't wait. Got to get one. So tell
Can't
us how
wait.
we're going to do it. This is like, I really want a GT3, but then Tesla's got to launch the freaking Semi, and that's way more important.
Yeah, way more. Yeah. Yeah.
So thanks so much for watching a fun, just random episode between me and Andreas on the Tesla Semi.
Yeah.
I think you and I both just love this thing.
Love it. Just chatting.
Yeah.
Put in
Yeah.
the comments which design you prefer or which design you think will be the design.
Or if you've watched all the way to the end of the show, comment lights. Like write lights in the comments. Then we'll know who watched the end of the show. And it'll confuse people who don't.
Lights.
Lights. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in another one again soon. Bye-bye.